What's up, people? I'm going to do a video while I'm driving. Y'all might be able to see some of the scenery out the window. I'm not going to actually look at you because this is something new I'm trying. The mount that I got for this camera allows me to not have it sitting on the brake knob, which is what I had going on. I'm going through Illinois right now. I'm on my way to La Porte, Texas. I'm going to say this as a preference. When I post this, I might be in California, so this it doesn't really give the time frame as far as when the video was done. And I don't normally talk about customers until after the fact anyway. And I'm wearing I got coffee stain this morning on my shirt. So y'all get to see a little bit of the road views through the window. Later on, as the money comes in, I'll get better cameras. I always like watching trucking channels where they actually give you road views while you're driving. And I take a lot of pictures out here, and I need to get some better cameras so I can set some things up on the truck. I'm sticking definitely with the company until the end of the year. Then I'll reevaluate it more at the end of the year. I'm trying to stick with my plan. A lot of truckers, they jump ship because you get mad and you're in this truck a long time without doing what I call rational thought. What rational thought is that it's easy to be in this small space and make unrash decisions because things piss you off. And in this small space, we get a lot of contemplating and thinking done. One of the reasons I like trucking, because I'm a very analytical person, so I analyze everything, and I'll analyze it to death. But my driver manager, which I said in a previous video, that will make or break your relationship with any trucking company. My fear is to leave this company and get a crappy driver manager. You know, I worked for good companies, like Conway was a great company, but my driver manager, I didn't care for her at all. Now, the Pride driver manager I had, I liked him. He was a very nice guy. My issue, though, again, I have some major issues, and my major issue is maintaining your equipment. This company will, in a sense, maintain certain aspects of its equipment, but they do a lot of band-aiding, and I don't know if that's just because the mechanical department doesn't get paid enough. With the merger that's happening, though, I think that some of the equipment and some of the financial stuff that they were doing with the previous leadership is definitely going to be changed, because the other company coming in is a much more well-oiled machine from what I know from people who work for them. So I'm hoping for that. They may have to take the idle off my truck due to a piece of medical equipment that I have to use on the truck that the bunk heater's knocking out, based on my conversation with the lady from the Wisconsin terminal. We're going to analyze that more once I get to Phoenix, and I'll see what's happening. Last night I stayed in Illinois at a Range Rover. Range Rover. It's a Pilot. Pilot does this thing called Range Rover, whatever. And I like them. They're mainly in the Midwest. And I like them a lot because normally, granted, their lots aren't always paved. A lot of times they're dirt yards. But they usually have a lot of freaking space to park. And I was trying to make it to my fuel stop last night, which is also in Illinois. But I had to stop at the bathroom a couple times. And by the time I stopped my last time, I was 2 hours and change, and I knew I was not going to make it all the way. There was I had a free shower at Love's, but Love's, again, does not always have the largest parking. And the one that had a larger lot was further out, and it would have taken me, it was just before my fuel stop. So I ended up paying for a shower last night because I was due for my shower. And like I said, I'm a shower person. I'm not one of these truckers, and I don't know what it is, but no offense to the guys, where me and y'all can be up in the truck and be dirty as hell, and y'all can sleep in that. It just drives me, I can't do it. And I look at truckers, and sometimes I just look at them, they just look filthy. I met a guy at the terminal, and a very nice guy, he's doing an owner-op, but he looked dirty to me. He just looked dirty. I'm like, dude, you need a shower, you need to shave, you know. Even if you're going to be out here and be a guy with the beards and stuff, there's a way to still look clean and be a clean trucker. If you go watch Indiana Jack, I don't ever feel like when I watch him and he's a beard guy, he's a beard, I don't ever feel like I'm looking at a dirty trucker. That's the one thing I like about him. He looks clean. Some truckers, I'm like, ooh, y'all need to take a damn bath. And I've seen that. But right now, just kind of going through. But yeah, if you get 2 Range Rovers in the Midwest, that's really good. And most of them also have usually some kind of diner or cafe. I was going to eat breakfast this morning, but I got up later than what I planned. And I got up right at my 10 hours. 10 hours in, what's that, 10 hours in? 11 minutes. So I was 11 minutes over because sometimes I get up a little earlier than my 10 hours. I'm a sleeper bird. And I was going to go and, excuse me. I was going to go and eat breakfast at the little cafe they had. But by the time I realized, I was like, okay, you know, I got up, did some straightening up in the truck, made up my bunk. I make my bunk up every day unless I'm going to wash linen. And sometimes I don't make it up. But if I'm going to wash linen, then I make my bunk up every day. Well, there's a cop car. Okay. It's a Malibu, and they made it look like a cop, and there's a cop car. I make my bunk up every day. I do my alcohol spray down, like I told you, with the 91%. And then I went into the truck stop, and I had my morning constitutional, brush my teeth and wash my face, do my hair. When I don't have to go to a customer, I'm in my hand-me-downs. This is kind of like this old big dog shirt. It's got some holes in it. It's just a comfy lounge shirt. And usually I drive with my house shoes on, but because I'm going to be fueling here in about an hour, I got my regular shoes on, so I get out and do my fuel, and then when I get back in the truck, I'm going to switch to my house shoes because tonight's going to be, it's just going to be mainly a driving day. Because I was about 17 hours away from my fuel stop when I left out of, and I forgot what city I was in. It was, I forgot what city it is. But anyway, it was in Illinois. When I left out there, and actually it was a nice little, like I said, it was a nice Pilot Road Ranger. They had a cafe, they had Subway, a really good store. Their store was huge. They had a bunch of showers. They had like 12 freaking showers, and the showers were clean. It looks like they had just remodeled the showers. Very nice, clean showers, big showers. And then across the street was a Blimpie. I didn't go to that. I love Blimpie. And then they had a McDonald's, and they also had a hotel across the street. A little country town. It was really cute. But I like Road Ranger. Road Ranger pilots are usually pretty big. They're pretty decent size. I went to one pilot last night, though, that made me want to jump to the roof. I almost thought I was stuck. I forgot what city I was in. But man, I got up in there, and they had trucks going in 2 opposite directions in the fuel aisle. And all I did was want to pee and get a sub. And I had to wait, and finally I got around. God is good. And I was like, woo! I got through the fuel aisle, parked in the fuel aisle, jumped out, went to the bathroom, got my sub. And they have, in the Illinois area, they have this stuff called gardenia mix at Subway. God, it's the bomb. It is the bomb. Love the gardenia mix. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, talk about this dude, the new GPS, which I'm got both. So I've been running Ghetto GPS, company GPS, and I've been running the Garmen, which is running. I'm looking there because the Garmen is sitting right next to where the pedal is for the mount for the phone, and then usually I have the phone mounted up there because I'm playing music. And then the GPS for the company is down below. It's like across from me here where the steering wheel is. Coffee. Medium warm coffee now. The Garmin, I'm going to just kind of give you an update on what I feel about it so far. So I had the old Ram McNally when I was in trucking before the original Ram. I had it. It was phenomenal. Everybody liked the Ram. Ram was like the bomb diggity. What I liked about the Ram is that when I went through a location, it told me what city I'm in. So like right now, Garmin does not tell me what city I am. It does show me that I'm on I-55. It shows me that my next exit is going to be exit 18, which is Troy for TA. It shows me my truck speed. It shows me the speed limit. It gives, and I can set what time I'm arriving in, but it doesn't show me where I'm at. That's what I don't like. Now, what it will do is it will tell me, hey, you're coming up on the state border. It'll show me that. It'll show me the way stations coming up and give me the mileage. It gives me alerts if I'm on a windy road or a sharp curve. What else is this bad boy doing? Windy road, sharp curve. Oh, and it is talking to some sort of system where it actually will tell me if there is a delay in traffic. So it is getting some real-time information through whatever system it reads from. So it'll tell me, oh, there's a 10-minute delay, a 30-minute delay. So I like all of that. Once I get Ghetto Mobile gone and get back to my AT&T, I'm going to also, it does Wi-Fi connect to your phone, and it has some other features. When I get home, I'm going to go ahead and get the manual, or to Lubbock, whichever one first, when I get to Lubbock. I'm going to get the manual printed out so I can begin to read it and really learn it. I may also later buy the RAM. The smaller version, the cheaper version. I'm not going to buy the big one. And the only reason I want both is because if I do become an owner-op, whether this company or another company, I like having the two GPSs. That's something I will say. Even with Ghetto GPS, I like having both. The reason I actually like having both, sometimes they will give me two different instructions, and I have to make a decision as to which one I want to use. So, example, my company tries to avoid tolls because they don't want to pay them because it's cheap. But if they have me avoid tolls, it usually adds anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour or more onto my route trip, because they're taking me usually down some freaking U.S. highway or state highway to circumvent the toll roads. So coming here, going through Illinois, it was going to have me, Ghetto GPS was going to have me jump off of the interstate and go down this other little part of interstate to then jump on a U.S. highway to then circle me around and then hop on to avoid the tolls. Whereas Garmin basically just said, hey, this is going to take you through toll roads. Do you want to go ahead and go through toll roads? And I basically, yeah, go and go through the toll roads. I have a toll pass. The company will pay. They're set up to pay the tolls. You want the load there on time, or you want to add time to where anything could happen. So, and especially dealing with Illinois. I'm going through Illinois, going through like Chicago, heading that direction, St. Louis area. You want to, and I just did it at night because that's the best time is to step through at night. You want to step through that area as soon as flipping possible. And that's kind of what I did. Because I'm like, I'm going to step through this as soon as flipping possible. So, I did the toll roads, which, like I said, it made more sense. I can't get over these, but I can wait. Got to wait, playboy. I can't get over. Guys coming on from the rest area, but I can't get over because Illinois has some butthole people. They're eight to the holes. They do not. They'll speed up opposed to let you get in, and they're not courteous at all. Kind of like Cali. States rude ass drivers. Southern Cal, Northern Cal is cool. But yeah, the Garmin I like. Those are just some of the features that I can think of off the top of my head that I really like about it. And I took the toll roads. It saved me about 30 minutes last night. And then I guess there was some delay. The thing is, I was coming out of Wisconsin, and as I was coming out, everything was cool. And then obviously we're in the winter months here in the West Coast and Midwest. And I saw those wonderful, ominous clouds. And so I've had rain all last night from Wisconsin all the way through to, all the way through to Illinois last night. So I had rain all night. And it just amazes me how trucks, and that's them. I'm a little bit slower. They haul behind, past me, and just flying down there, and a couple accidents I saw on the other side of the freeway. But I slow it down. My truck is governed at 60, and I pretty much will drive anywhere between 45 and 55 in the rain. Especially if I'm in a 70 mile an hour zone, 65 mile an hour zone. Even with the car, I slow down in the rain. Just let me. I don't understand. I'm watching these truckers. I'm like, y'all are some balls to the walls cowboys. I'm not this one. Right now, I've got some wind pushing, slight. I'm heavy enough to fight this little wind. It's probably about 17 miles an hour at that. But I can see a way to tell if it's wind, people, for my newbie drivers. Something I learned in trucking school. And as like I said, I picked up everything the old heads in the trucking school told me. Some people, trucking school ain't nothing. No, my trucking school is something. If you pay attention, you pick up some wisdom. I like wisdom. When you're driving along, look at the weeds and the grass. And that tells you the direction the wind is going. If you have winds, the harder the bend, the stronger the wind. So if your weeds and grass are bending pretty hard, that means you got some strong winds going on. And you may need to get over and find out through road conditions, your phone, whatever, what your weather is, what your gusts are, and you have to make your executive decision, as I call it, whether you need to park it or continue to roll. And it really depends on the weight of your vehicle, if you're empty or not. So, but when I came up into leaving out of Wisconsin, leaving out of Wisconsin, and the clouds were coming, one thing I know, I picked up the trailer and I felt this pull right, and I was having the same problem with the previous trailer. So I wanted to check weather conditions because I saw the clouds. I didn't know if we were going to get snow showers. Temperature was a little warm for snow showers, but I always check, especially because I was coming to Illinois, and Illinois can be cold. It can be cold. So I pulled into this Love's, and Love's has something called Tire Pass. That is your friend for my drivers, new drivers, old drivers. Tire Pass is your friend. The Tire Pass, what they do is you go in, and if you're you can go fuel and get Tire Pass. They'll check the tire pressure, they'll check your tread, they pretty much check tires, and they hook a machine to it. They'll ask you what pressure you want, usually between 100 and 110. Since I had been driving, I told them 100 because that means the wheels were already hot, which means I wanted everything. And so I did 100 all the way around, and they basically level out all of your air, and it made a world of difference on my drive because I could feel it leaning over there. I do check my tires on here with a tire gauge or thumper, depending on how it's going, but I could just feel it leaning. So I had them go around and just make sure everything was equal out. Oftentimes your tires are not equal out on truck. You got 90, 80, and I think 80 something is the lowest you really want to go on a tire, because as it heats up it'll get, but I would say no more than 100, and then it'll heat up to the 110, and I did 100 all the way around. So they even tell you, whether your tires have uneven wear. They do a little report. And your first tire pass, which this company is totally free. Other than that, if you want to do tire pass, it's $5. $5 for your tractor. And if you want to do it in the tractor and trailer, it's $10. So it's $5 for the tractor, $5 for the trailer. And then as you do tire pass, you get points through Love's, and you earn, as you fuel and stuff, you'll earn tire pass points. So it's something that I think I'm going to incorporate every quarter. Again, that stuff is a tax write-off, so every quarter I think I'm going to incorporate that. I think I've been at DuPont when I was working for, I've been at DuPont when I was working for Conway. Yep, taking stuff up to Canada. So, beautiful day. But no, I checked, and it had rain all the way through, so when I stopped last night, I went ahead and stopped at that Range Rover Pilot. It was a big ass yard. Went in and I went to pee, and then I came back out. The time I got to the truck, it was 2:07 on the clock. And I was like, well, do I want to drive? Because I would have been able to drive maybe about 100 more miles, just under 100 miles. Anywhere between 60 and 100 miles, depending on the weather. And that wasn't going to get me too far. And so I decided that there was a Love's I could hit in some mom and pop truck stops. But I was there at that Range Rover, and there was plenty. It was a big lot. There was plenty where to park a truck or make a park, and they had the showers. So I went in, paid for a shower, got my shower out the way, so I don't have to shower tonight. So I can park anywhere I can park, rest area, wherever. So I'm going to get as far as I can, because tomorrow will be maybe about a half a day of driving, because like I said, 17 hours. I'm going to knock out about 10 and a half today, and I'll have about 10 tomorrow, 10 and a half, so I'll be done with everything by then, and I'm about 47 minutes from my stop. Anyway, I'll post this later, and I hope you guys are all having a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed some of the road views from the side. It'll cut off on its own here in a minute, and then I'm gonna get back to my music. I am gonna set the cameras up eventually, where I'll have y'all hear what I listen to, my ride music. And yeah, only thing that they would need to do for me to stay is let me have a dog. So once we get the idle situation done, let me have a damn dog. After that, I will drive this truck to the wheels fall off. So yeah, but I'm still gonna put the paper out there and look and see. And then I'll make all my decisions, but that's gonna be after the first of the year. Like I said, I really like this lady. I really like this lady. And I'm also checking out a truckload company. Thanks to the gentleman online who sent me that. I'll be checking that out. Although what you sent me, bro, was all seasonal stuff with that company, and I'm looking for a permanent job, not seasonal. So I'll look at it, and then I'm looking for that or reefer, and I haven't watched this video to show me what he gets paid for the truckload company, but I'm gonna check it out. Bills really like the truckload thing, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm coming up on something. I don't know if y'all can see it across the street. For those of you who are wondering about trucking, that's a weigh station. So if you've ever traveled distances, if you can see it, what happens is our truck is weighed by the axles, the front, the rear, the front, middle, and rear axles, and we have to have certain weights limits. So on the front axles, we should be no more than 12,000, and on the back and the middle, 34,000 each is our limit. Now I'm going to tell you, Bill went over something with me, and I got to get him to explain that again because he knows the history of trucking. You can be a little bit heavier on your steers. I think I've been told you can go up to maybe about 12,500 on the steers, even in Cali, without getting a ticket. At least that's what I've been told. I have been 12,150. I've been 12,200, and nobody between California and here have ever given me a ticket. And the reason for that, Bill said, is because of how the trucks are made today. But the standard is still, they try to keep you at the standard because it's a safer standard. But it's just because of how trucks are made now that's not feasible, because you're weighing our tanks. So when you fuel up, your tanks could easily be that 100, 200. Plus, it's taking my fat butt into consideration too. So if you take those two out, take the tanks, the fuel, and my fat butt out the equation, then the load would most likely be right at the 12,000 or less. So that was some interesting thing I got from trucking. Anyway, y'all.